How is it going, everyone? We've got a lot of PlayStation updates to go over in this video. One of the most anticipated games of 2026, and I think that anticipation is only gonna build as we get closer to the release of the game. Phantom Blade Zero will finally be getting its release date revealed this Thursday at the Game Awards, setting itself up for a 2026 release. There's some speculation that it'll be coming out sometime in the summer. Want to talk all about that, and you know what? The trend of me looking at games and because of my pessimistic self, looking at them and being like, this game looks really good, but I don't know if it's ever gonna come out. Well, Stellar Blade, I had that feeling with. Game came out and it was awesome. Black Myth Wukong, I had that feeling about. Game came out and it was awesome. Now Phantom Blade Zero is gonna get its release date. That's awesome. And Crimson Desert is out in March. Fingers crossed on that game. Look, this is one instance. I am so happy to be wrong that all of these games are coming out. Now, bear in mind, we do get our fair share of vaporware still, but these are some of the big titles that, you know, I'm always gonna be a little bit cautious of getting too excited just because sometimes these games don't come to fruition, but man, a lot of them coming to fruition, and more importantly, they're turning out to be really good. So we'll talk about that. Want to give you guys a heads up on a brand new Metroidvania that will be out in January. That is Mio Memories in Orbit. Game looks great. More on that in a little bit. And a final note on the Yakuza updates and upgrades. It is your final opportunity to pick up Yakuza 0 on the PlayStation Store if you do want it, but there will also be upgrade paths for Yakuza 0 into Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, and then Kiwami and Kiwami 2, which are getting less substantial upgrades, but still are being released on PlayStation 5. So more on that at the end of this video. But first of all, the official Game Awards Twitter account did post Phantom Blade Zero promised to reveal its release date in 2025. Next Thursday, The Lion Awakens, the world premiere announcement, arrives live at the Game Awards, and I would imagine that it's gonna hopefully set itself up for a release in the summer. Guys, I'm good on the more on the February and March games for a little bit. Let's push some stuff to the summer. Look, a game like this, I think it would be perfect to drop a game like this at the end of June or even July. Now, it would be a little bit early to announce a release date. I get it that GTA 6 has already announced its release date, but for the most part, I feel like more and more developers are announcing release dates closer to the release of the game. So 6-7 months away would be far, but I think that's fine. And build the hype and anticipation. Let's stay away from February and March. Phantom Blade Zero would do fine because I think the game is going to be that big. But I think if you can carve out your own spot end of June to be like a perfect summer game where everybody is streaming the game, content creators are talking about the game, this game really has the potential to be another one of the breakout new IPs. Much like Stellar Blade, much like Black Myth Wukong, I totally get that vibe from Phantom Blade Zero. And me bringing up, Wukong and, maybe on the surface, especially because how many of them we see, you might think, another Souls-like action game. They have been reiterating, this is not a Souls-like title. This is a action game with difficulty options. You can play this game at an easier difficulty, but if you want a more challenging option, there is the hardest difficulty as well, and there will be a bunch of difficulties in between that. Totally up my alley. Look, I played just about every Souls-like game that comes out for some reason, but I'm not big on the genre. This is what I like. I like my character-driven action games. Give me a lot of style. Give me a lot of flashiness. I'm all aboard on that. Give me visceral gameplay. Give me stylish swordplay, and Phantom Blade Zero looks to have all of that. And I remember going back to 2023 when this game was initially revealed. First of all, it was a time where I think Sony, it was very important for them to set up games that were coming out in the relative near future, and I saw Phantom Blade Zero and I'm like, alright, this is a game that's not going to come out for years. And I think going back to 2023, I did say, maybe we'll get it in 2026, 2027. Lo and behold, 2026 is honestly on the earlier side of when I expected to get this game, because guys, we've been hosed so many times. Like, just as somebody that has seen so many games that get revealed and then they go MIA. Look at what happened to Perfect Dark, you guys. Perfect Dark was literally a game that was revealed to sell people on the new Xbox, the Xbox Series. Gone with the Wind is that game. How many other games have we just gone with the wind? We don't talk about them anymore, although there's some rumblings that the KOTOR remake might be making an appearance at the Game Awards as well. We'll see. Maybe we're getting a little bit too excited, but Phantom Blade Zero getting its, release date announced, that's already a big W. The Game Awards, I get it that All right, for the developers celebrating the best games of the year, that's great. For me and for, I feel like most people watching the show, nobody really cares about that much. I get that it creates this discourse online, but dude, I look at some of the nominations. 100 Line Last Defense Academy not being nominated for Best Narrative just made me scratch my head being like, okay, at the end of the day, it's a group of people coming together. Like, the awards mean a lot to the developers and the publishers, and I get that, but for each individual consumer, you really can't take the awards that seriously. Everybody has their own preference on what games they like, and we've only played so many games. Like, the fact, again, 100 Line not being nominated for Best Narrative, alright, buddy, whatever. Take your awards. I just hope Expedition ends up winning Game of the Year, which I feel like it will, but, nonetheless, I'm here for the announcements. Phantom Blade Zero getting its release date announced. That's fantastic. And look at the lineup we're going into in 2026. Grand Theft Auto 6, fingers crossed that lands in 26, but you got Marvel's Wolverine, you've got now Phantom Blade Zero, you've got Resident Evil Requiem. I thought 2025 was a stellar year for gaming, but 2026, man, it's gonna be an even bigger year potentially, and, you know, there's other titles that are coming out as well. Think about all the Nintendo games that'll come out, the Fire Emblem title, you know, there's just a lot of exciting stuff. Soros as well. Soros is coming out in March 2026. Finally, Sony will put out 2 big budget single-player AAA titles, which is what I like to see out of them. There's just a lot of cool stuff coming out in 2026. Marvel Tokon, like, that's coming out as well. It's just gonna be a stellar year for gaming, at least if a lot of this does land. And Phantom Blade Zero landing in 2026, I think is just gonna be one of the bigger titles, because while it's a new IP, I'm telling you guys, it's another one of those games that as long as it's good, people are gonna be all over this game on social media. Everybody's gonna be talking about it, and if it does end up coming out end of June, July, I just think it'll have all of the attention around it, and I think for a game like this, it would make all the sense in the world. Alright, another game that you should have your eyes on. It's not gonna be as big of a game, but Mio Memories in Orbit will be launching on PlayStation 5 on January the 20th. This looks like a really cool Metroidvania, not getting a lot of attention, but it's featuring Mio, a nimble robot who awakens alone aboard the vessel, a vast drifting spaceship left in ruin. Once maintained by AI caretakers known as the Pearls, the vessel is now overrun by wild vegetation and malfunctioning machines. With the ship facing imminent shutdown, Mio must explore its labyrinth depths, recover its lost memories, and uncover the truth behind the collapse and their own forgotten past. Really dig the art style of the game. Metroidvania here. It'll be $19.99, published by Focus Entertainment. We'll see how that turns out. Again, that'll be out January the 20th. And lastly, I'd be remiss if I don't mention Yakuza 0 will be getting delisted tomorrow. Yes, the game will be gone, the original that is, and be replaced with Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. I've mentioned it before. Sega does this for a very specific reason, and PlayStation does it, although it's a little bit different. They want to swap out that $19.99 version that you can buy. They want to sell you Yakuza 0 for $50, and they're doing it with Kiwami and Kiwami 2 in the sense that offering PS5 versions on that. Now, Yakuza 0, if you do have a digital copy of the original release, you can upgrade to the Director's Cut for $14.99. Significant savings outside of paying the $49.99, and you can literally buy the digital copy for $19.99 and then buy the upgrade for $14.99, and that'll save you 30% from buying the Director's Cut. Unfortunately, 0 is not on sale on PlayStation 5. It is on sale on PC, so you can pay $11 on Steam right now and get it on PC, but I digress. There you go with that. Yakuza Kiwami will have an upgrade on PlayStation 5 for $1.99, a significant savings versus the $19.99 price point that'll be offered for Yakuza Kiwami. And then Kiwami 2, if you have the digital version, you may be able to upgrade to the digital version at no cost. So that's pretty cool, and yeah, you'll be able to take advantage of that, and that's for digital copies of the game. I hate the gimmick of delisting the original copy so we can replace it with this enhanced release, but at a appreciated price point. Sony didn't delist Horizon Zero Dawn, but they upped the price of Horizon Zero Dawn before Remastered came out, so you were left to pay $50 for it. I get it, most people own the game, etc., but this idea of going back and juicing up the price of older games, I don't know how anybody can be in favor of that. Like, I remember people defending that with Horizon, like, oh, bro, why are we defending games getting juiced up in price that are years and years old? Like, that should not be the case. I get it, one thing, the physical games market, things get rare and whatnot, but the digital market, them juicing up the price of games. Come on, man. Like, we can do better than that and letting that slide. But that is gonna do it for me. Again, let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. I am so excited for Phantom Blade Zero. Again, I'll happily take the L on that one as far as having that impression initially of, oh, is this game actually ever gonna come out? And I think it's a valid concern to have with a lot of games these days when they're revealed 84 million years in advance, but nonetheless, Phantom Blade Zero looks to get its release date. Will be potentially released. I think 100% will be released in 2026. Could you imagine? Oh, the game will come out in February 2027. Yeah, that would be beyond cooked. That will not be happening. But nonetheless, there you go. With that, Mio Memories in Orbit, that drops January 20th. Have that game on your radar. I think it'll be a surprising one. And Yakuza, the full upgrade lineup there. $14.99 for the upgrade into Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. And Kiwami, $1.99 upgrade. Kiwami 2, a free upgrade on that. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching. Let me know your excitement level for Phantom Blade Zero in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching, and goodbye. Guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.